Well, everybody, you know that time in 2018 when Pixar Pier opened up and the adjacent hotel across the street, still named Paradise Pier, was left in question on what was going to happen to it, since, it was Paradise Pier, and now we have Pixar Pier at California Adventure. Well, I guess now we have somewhat of an idea of that solution. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing down below with those bell notifications on, and make sure you're following us on our social media pages on both Instagram and on Twitter at Exploring Attractions to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest theme park news. This past week, some leaked images slash concept art broke the Diz Twitter universe and showcased a potential re-theme to the Paradise Pier Hotel, turning it into a Toy Story themed hotel. And obviously this triggers automatically a lot of people because IPs and Pixar in general has just been really overused at the Disney parks, and obviously there's a lot more that they can do with a re-theme of that hotel, or maybe even a demolition of that hotel. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, first things first, I want to start out by saying I'm not opposed to Toy Story. I do like that whole series and the movies and everything. And obviously Toy Story characters are always fun and loving, and they're exciting to see in the parks, but they are a little bit overused, right? I mean, we have toys. I'm not even going to name the amount of lands and attractions that are scattered throughout the Disney parks worldwide. Not to mention the merch, the experience, the meet and greets, the already existing hotels, etc., etc. And keep in mind, take this with a grain of salt. I figured I'd make a video about it because it is interesting that these were leaked concept art images, and obviously there has to be some type of credibility behind it for this concept art to come about. But like I said, take it with a grain of salt because this could have been early stages of what they're planning to do as a part of Disneyland Forward. So like I always say, nothing's official until the parks themselves confirm it. But I find it real interesting that Disney would even consider doing something like this and not consider doing something in relation to Pixar still, but more of just a general, I don't know, theme of Pixar, maybe like similar to Art of Animation over at Walt Disney World. Maybe you could do Art of Pixar or something like that. Maybe they can even do a more popular IP in relation to Pixar. It doesn't have to be Toy Story because that's overused everywhere. I think that the whole idea of them wanting to do Toy Story is because obviously they have the hotels overseas at the different Disney properties. And while those hotels are very pretty, they look elegant, and they have a bunch of Toy Story themed stuff in them, and they honestly do look pretty cool, and I would love to stay the night in one of those hotels or slash hotel rooms. I don't think bringing that over to the West Coast and putting it as a replacement for Paradise Pier is the best idea. Like I said, I think that they should go the route of doing some kind of general Pixar theme. And even if that, I don't think Pixar should exist in that hotel at all. I think it should be a completely different theme. Why not have something, I don't know, this isn't my number one, but why not have Polynesian there? Or why not have some other themed hotel? Just something like that. Coronado Springs. You get what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying that we'd have a Coronado Springs pop up at Disneyland, but why wouldn't they do something like that, similar to what they do over in Disney World? Well, there's a short answer for that, and that's because it's a part of Disneyland Forward. This is obviously the first stages of Disneyland Forward. That big concept art slash rendering slash website that they put up about their plans for the future and their plans on how they had to destroy current attractions slash experiences to make way for new and exciting things. Thing they got everybody excited about, a quote unquote third gate. I think that this is the first stage of that, as well as with Downtown Disney District currently being demolished and completely renovated. Now, overall, the concept art isn't very promising. It looks okay, it looks newer, but it's not the greatest. They have a good plan there, but it's just whatever. And like I said, take it with a grain of salt because these were just early concept art images, so this could not be true at all. But like I said, we do have to take this to what there's some credibility, because these concept art images wouldn't exist if they didn't. I also took to social media and asked you guys what your thoughts are on it, and the general overview of it was not that great, but there was a couple that were like, it looks good. There's split opinions on this, and I'd encourage everybody to leave your feedback down below in the comments section, because I want to see what you guys think as far as the future of the Paradise Pier Hotel goes, and I just want to know what you think about Pixar just kind of invading the Disney parks as much as it has. Anyways, back to the whole Disneyland Forward thing. I think that this is a bigger part of it. I think that this is the first step of it, and which is very, very exciting, and I think with whatever they replace Paradise Pier Hotel with, they need to already build that bridge from Pixar Pier over to wherever that hotel may be at, or wherever the quote-unquote third gate may be at. Or maybe even it's just an expansion to DCA and Disneyland, and you have the bridge going over to the expansion to DCA while also having a connection to whatever the unknown named Paradise Pier Hotel will eventually be. Now, if Disney was smart, then they'd go the route of just completely building a brand new hotel, and they wouldn't even worry about doing a cheap retheme on Paradise Pier. Instead, they'd go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, we're going to put this brand new thing so we can really make the Disneyland Resort feel like a resort. Not that it doesn't already. It's lacking that feel of having multiple different options as far as where guests can stay, because they all are extremely expensive, and that's because it's in California and it's a smaller resort, etc., etc. But I feel like Disney needs to go the way of just completely demolishing Paradise Pier Hotel and putting up a new hotel with some original idea. It doesn't have to have an IP in there. There could be nods to IPs and whatnot, but that's what I think they should do. Because if they're really going to move forward with Disneyland Forward, and if there are plans to furthermore expand the downtown Disney district into, I think the rumored area was like the Toy Story parking lot, and then they're going to build a hotel around that, then you would think that they would want to make everything perfect and make everything to where there's brand new, beautiful hotels and more guests want to come than they already have, and they're tripling their revenue, and they're at the same time making guests and fans happy. But that's unfortunately not the case. So we had to live with whatever they're going to retheme the Paradise Pier Hotel to. I'll be all for it regardless. I think Paradise Pier needs a retheme immediately, or they need to be demolished immediately, because that hotel is not looking good. So whatever it is, they need to hop on that quickly, and I'll be happy with it regardless of what it is. Sure, I prefer some things over another, but at the end of the day, we know how Disney's been recently, and we just got to live with what they put in front of us. Now, that does beg the question, if they were planning to do a Toy Story retheme of Paradise Pier, are they going to put the Toy Story land right behind it? Because in that Disneyland Forward website, they're talking about lands like Toy Story Land that could come over to the Disneyland Resort. So you gotta ask yourself, would they do that? Like I said, that's another thing that I don't think that Disney should do, because they already have Toy Story Lands and all the other different Disney parks, and even though tons of guests would be happy with that, it's not going to be a huge draw as if you were to put, like, I don't know, Wakanda or maybe Zootopia. So all these questions are very intriguing in my head, and I've been thinking about them a lot. I just wanted to come on here and share my thoughts as far as this concept art goes, and just as far as the future for Disneyland goes, as far as Disneyland Forward is. But yeah, let me know down in the comments section what you think about all this. What you think about a retheme of the Paradise Pier Hotel is into turning into Toy Story. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Let me know down below in the comments section. I'm really curious to see all of your guys' thoughts. Anyways, everybody, my name is Scott, and you've been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.